Halloween fun with one-stop shopping at Woolworth or Woolco for your Halloween needs. Costumes from $1.83 to $3.99, like $6 Million Man, Bionic Woman, superheroes, Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, and a new favorite for girls, Holly Hobby. You can get wrapped candies of every kind, bubblegum, lollipops, fun-size candy bars. Get this Halloween record, sounds to make you shiver, just $1.89. Make Halloween fun and easy. Make just one stop at Woolworth or Woolco.
In 1982, 18-year-old James Adamski lived in Cheektowaga, New York, with his parents and his younger brother Andy, who was 10 years his junior. On October the 30th, James dressed in an American Gigolo costume and headed to a Halloween party at Colern's 5 and 23 bar, about 4 miles from his home. At the time, the legal drinking age in New York was 18, which allowed James to join the celebration. Before leaving, Andy recalls his brother kissing him on the forehead and saying, "Have a good time trick-or-treating, kid." Tragically, that would be the last moment they shared. Friends who saw James at the bar later remembered him as heavily intoxicated. At one point, he got into a brief scuffle, though it ended without escalation. Around 3:30 a.m. on October the 31st, James left the bar and was last seen walking in the direction of his home. When James did not return the next morning, his parents grew immediately concerned. His mother knew something was wrong.
There was no big argument or anything, or he didn't have it tough in the house or in school and anything. He was a perfect child. He was a father's dream.
James had never stayed out all night without letting them know. The family reported him missing, and extensive searches were conducted over the following weeks, but no trace of him was found.
Topping tonight's Eyewitness News, a massive search begins in Cheektowaga for 18-year-old James Adamski.
2 months later, on December the 26th, 1982, 2 rabbit hunters made a grim discovery. James' body was found buried in a shallow grave in a wooded area, about 4 miles from where he was last seen. He was still wearing his Halloween costume. The autopsy revealed he had been beaten to death with a blunt object, possibly a baseball bat, a 2x4, or a tire iron. Police interviewed those who attended the Halloween party, but the altercation at the bar was ruled unrelated to his murder. James had no known enemies, and investigators could not identify a clear suspect. Authorities believe James may have accepted a ride, whether voluntary or under coercion. At some point, a confrontation likely occurred, leading to his brutal death. His killers then transported his body to the wooded area and buried him. What began as a night of celebration ended in tragedy, leaving James' family shattered. Despite a thorough investigation and a reward of $11,000 for information, his murder remains unsolved. Today, more than 4 decades later, James Adamski's case remains one of New York State's most haunting mysteries. Investigators continue to keep it open, holding on to hope that someone will finally come forward with a missing piece of information that could bring justice to James and peace to his family. Thomas Fowler, the former police chief of Lancaster, who investigated James' case, has stated that authorities have a strong idea of who is responsible, but not enough evidence to make an arrest. That's why they need your help. If you have any information about this case, you can contact Crime Stoppers Buffalo anonymously at 716-867-6161 or visit crimestoppersbuffalo.com. Even the smallest details could make a difference. James Adamski was more than a costume, more than a headline. He was a son, a brother, and a young man with his whole life ahead of him. His story deserves to be remembered, not just for the tragedy, but for the love and loss that followed. If this case touched you, please consider sharing it. You never know who might hold the missing piece. Thank you for watching and for honoring James' memory with your time and attention. Stay safe, stay kind, and keep asking questions. I wish you all a happy Halloween, and I'll see you next Friday.